Have you ever wondered how your body naturally repairs and rejuvenates itself? It all comes down to your stem cells, your body's built-in repair system that renews tissue, restores balance, and helps you feel your best. But by age 30, you have up to 90% fewer stem cells in circulation. That's where Stem Regen comes in. Founded by stem cell scientist and health pioneer Christian Drapeau, Stem Regen products are designed to support your body's natural repair system by using science-backed, plant-based extracts. Just 2 capsules of Stem Regen releases an average of 10 million of your own stem cells into your body. No injections, just 2 capsules. Empower your body to rejuvenate from within, whether you're focused on recovery, longevity, or just overall wellness. Stem Regen can help release more of your health, more life, and more of the best version of you. Try it now at stemregen.co and use code POD15 for 15% off your first order. That's StemRegen, code POD15.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
Do you like being educated on things that entertain but don't matter? Well, then you need to be listening to the Popcast with Knox and Jamie. Every Wednesday, we put together an episode dedicated to delightful idiocy to give your brain a break from all the serious and important stuff.
Whether we're deep diving a classic movie, dissecting the true meanings behind the newest slang, or dunking on our own listeners for their bad takes or cringy stories, we always approach our topics with humor and just a little bit of side-eye, and we end every episode with recommendations on all the best new movies, books, TV shows, or music.
To find out more, just search up the Popcast with Knox and Jamie wherever you listen to podcasts and prepare to make Wednesday your new favorite day of the week.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of What's Your Issue? My name is Troy McEady.
And I'm Dara Lane Sussman.
And this is a very special week because not only do we have our first interview, and not only is it an interview, it is absolutely major, and it's glory be to Dara for making it happen.
It's a certifiable banger, I will say. I'm so excited. We're talking to my friend Michael Johnson, who was one of the co-creators of the Dirty Pop documentary series on Netflix, and he is also a former boy band member. And oh my God, I mean, he really gave us the goods.
He was an absolutely incredible interview. He was so open to talking about whatever. He had so much insight. He just spilled so much tea. And for that reason, so we are going to include a portion of the interview in this episode. We actually talked for over an hour. We talked for like 2 hours. It was really just a selfish pursuit. It was an excuse to pick his brain and ask about Lou and the movie Long Shot and his interactions with Britney Spears. It was incredible.
Yeah, we were going to just drop it into this episode, but then we realized there wasn't a single moment worth cutting. You had to hear it all, so it'll be its own special bonus episode on the main feed, and you'll hear a little preview in this episode.
Yes, and so we chose this the issue that we're doing today. Who should we even ask? I mean, this is yours, really.
Oh gosh, okay, you can. Ask me the big question, Daddy.
Dora, what's your issue, darling?
Oh, my issue is Popstar magazine from April 2002, and this is a very special double magazine. On one side, the cover is Hilary Duff, and on the other side is Michael's band Natural. And I will say this, a double magazine makes flipping through it quite confusing. And you don't know where one page ends and the next begins.
This magazine layout is, and you know what's so funny is that this is like the magazine leveled up, because I have some Popstar magazines from like 98, 99 that are literal newspaper. They are literally... They're like tissue, like they're actual, not color, just black and white images, really shitty thin paper. So what's funny is this is like the leveled up version of Popstar magazine.
And yeah, it's a nice, thick, hefty paper. There's some weight to this baby.
It's like that 90s like homemade paper where it's just a bunch of like scraps and you like mush them together. It's like thick giant paper. But no, it's a great issue, and it's a milestone for our podcast because we both love a teen magazine, and I feel like it's a good excuse for us to differentiate. Like, there are magazines that are geared towards teens, like Teen People and 17 and stuff like that. And then there are straight up teen magazines like J14, Tiger Beat, Popstar, and this is our first like real true official teen magazine.
And I will say I was a huge J14, Teen Beat, I was into all those magazines, but it's been so long since I've really gone through them. I did forget how very straightforward it is just about fan culture. This is not lifestyle unless your lifestyle is parasocial relationships. This is brass tacks, interviews with celebrities. That's about it.
Yeah, this is the original like Stan Twitter. Like, this is where Stan Twitter was born. And what's so fascinating about it is, like, in the way that like Nickelodeon was supposed to feel like a network being run by kids, this feels like a magazine being run by teenagers. You would never think that adults are like at the helm of this magazine because it's so poorly executed.
Yeah, and yes, it does feel like this is some sort of like student newspaper magazine situation. However, obviously we know that there's some adults behind the wheel, which makes it even weirder when you're reading certain articles that an adult has written and you're like, wow, this probably like 45-year-old man is breaking his back trying to like fit in a roll on the floor LOL acronym. It's tough.
I hate that I know the exact moment and page that you're talking about, that you're referencing right now.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I had to read it a few times. I was like, not that.
Yeah. It was like an 8-letter acronym. I was like, oh, no. We can cut this down a touch.
Not
Dad.
rolling on the goddamn floor, laughing out loud. I was like, okay, girl, calm down. This magazine, before we get into it, is also a deceit in the sense that it's claiming to be a double issue, and you guys know how normally in a double issue magazine, like halfway through it like flips for the other side, whereas this one just has 2 covers, and that's where that ends.
Yeah, it just feels like confusing for confusing's sake, or as if it's so there's only about 5 pages, and it's natural, and then a little bit of an interview with them, and it's like, well, I don't know, either give them the cover or don't, because this is just confusing formatting more than anything.
It is very confusing, and I wonder how much of that is just because, again, it's like for kids, so it should be, because when I think of any kids magazine, they're always just like really messy, right? Like really over the top, really messy, sort of hard to follow. Like you could read it 40 times and every time you'll find something new on a page because there's just like so like an oversaturation. And like I guess maybe that's like to stimulate like a young child's brain or something.
Troy, I think that's really generous of you. I think it's just a bunch of people saying, oh, it's for fucking kids. Like whatever. Just it's like, oh no, I all the paragraphs got formatted out of these 3 pages. It's fine. Just let it run.
There's one page that we both instinctively knew was like confusing for the other because literally it's like a 9-paragraph article, the tiniest font I've ever seen, no periods, no commas, but all separate statements in just one big like glob.
It truly just looks like the rambling of, I don't know, like a 12-year-old newspaper reporter coked out.
I guess should we get into it?
Let's jump in.
So I guess the most important thing to know before we get too far into this magazine is that, and I don't know if this is like, I have a lot of Popstar magazines and I don't think that this is like an every issue thing, but for this one specifically, all of the interviews are done by the fans. So like one of the first pages is like, hey, do you want to be a teen reporter? And it's like, you could be.
Hell
you
yeah.
could be if you wanted for this very issue of Popstar magazine. So they say, for this issue of Popstar, we've got a special feature running throughout. More of our patented interview by you quizzes. For these interviews, we ask our online readers to submit questions, and then we bounce them off today's biggest stars. This issue, we snap celebs like Chris Trousdale, Hilary Duff, and Aaron Carter. Not bad. So then they instruct you on how to send your questions to popstarmag@aol.com. But yeah, so we are eventually going to be reading some of the burning questions from fans to Popstar magazine.
I do love the absolutely straightforward popstarmag@aol.com.
Yeah, no bullshit. No beating around the bush. And can I also just say before we get too far into this how uncomfortable Dream Street has always made me?
Okay, I was actually thinking about this when I was flipping through the magazine. They're so young. They're like little babies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. As an adult, yes, like it feels very strange looking at them, especially when they're posed like little men.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, at the same time, if you yourself are a 12-year-old, I mean, maybe it's more appropriate to be lusting over a fellow 12-year-old.
Well, also thank God for them because it's how we got Jesse McCarthy. I mean, that's where he
So true.
Where he
Oh
came
my God.
from. And they do look, I mean, they are, I know that a lot of the pop acts are young at this time, but they are like, they're giving like middle school.
They're babies. And then when you flip over to an NSYNC picture and you've got Joey Fatone looking like your stepdad, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'd prefer Dream Street.
No, for sure. And like Kevin from the Backstreet Boys looking like your guidance counselor. You're like, wait, is that more inappropriate? I don't know.
And they're like, he just got out of rehab. We're so happy for him.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I learned what rehab was because of the Backstreet Boys.
Did you? Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
They do. I did notice it. This was just a weird line that I clocked when they discussed his rehab stint very briefly. They're like, the guys rescheduled their 30-stop tour so he could go to rehab. And they easily could have gone without him, but they're good friends. It's like, do you have to do him like that? Like, no one would miss him on this 30-stop tour. He's arguably useless.
That's so... The fact that they even mention... there are a few little moments in this magazine where I'm like, okay, yeah, an adult was making this. And there were some moments where it just felt like, what the hell is going on? That being one of them. But yeah, the Backstreet Boys were really obsessed with like... Well, I guess maybe not so much them, but the press was obsessed with like mentioning the rehab stuff. Like it was such a point of conversation, I guess because people weren't as open at the time about going to rehab. So they loved bringing it up. Like it was like always talked about AJ in rehab.
You know, how's that going for him? Still clean?
He's right next to me and he's doing very well. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, AJ. Thrilled.
AJ pops his head in. He's like, Before we introduce the next page that we want to discuss, because this magazine is laid out so insanely, it's basically every page is just like a Mod Podge of like different random things. We're just going to kind of be flipping through it with you. So this is like, we really literally are in like a bedroom in middle school right now. There's like glow in the dark stuff all over the walls. We're kicking our feet, wearing limited 2 pajamas. Like our somebody's mom just brought us pizza rolls. That's like the vibe right now.
We're conspiring to dye each other's hair with Kool-Aid when the parents go to sleep.
I just promised Dara that I know how to cut bangs because I've done it.
And he says I'm going to look just like Lindsay Lohan.
I'm like, just let me, Dara.
You'll look just like her in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. You look so pretty.
I feel like you're being a bitch right now by not trusting me. So we
just went completely.
No, like I feel like this magazine is like, it's like I feel old looking at it. Like it makes me feel like elderly.
I was just about to say, this is very specifically not for our eyes. This is like a dog whistle to children, and that's why we're having such a hard time.
It's like looking in one of those things, you know, what is it, a kaleidoscope?
Yes.
You put your eyes through and twist it, and it's just colors and shapes. Like that's what this is.
I do vividly remember this sort of fan art aspect of these magazines, which, it's cute. I'm actually surprised I never did this sort of stuff and tried to send it in. Being just a naturally creative individual.
I mean, honestly, though, there's a lot. This magazine revolves a lot around fan art and homemade drawings of people and, send us in, like, the pictures of your friendship bracelets that you made for you in Dream Street or whatever. Like, but there's a lot of, like, I drew this picture from my locker. Like, there's so much of that.
I also love there's a little blurb showing pictures of girls in their bedrooms in front of like their poster magazine collage walls. And I do think that it's like a really great indication of budding creativity and executive dysfunction or function. We've got one girl, she's made like a perfect gallery wall, every poster is fit perfectly around each other. And then there's some others thrown like spaghetti at the wall. You really feel like you're getting to know these girls.
The other thing that I love about this that's like so specific to a teen pop magazine from this era is that like young people don't go through this sort of awkward adolescence anymore. Like you just go from being like a literal child to like a thought. Like, you go from being a child to, like, literally, like, a grown-ass woman with, like, a full adult woman's body wearing Dior and, you know what I mean, having, like, several Chanel tweed suits and, like, this sort of awkward, like, stapling posters all over your wall kind of vibe is, like, dying. Like, it's, like, kind of dead.
Oh, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
I mean, just the hair, every girl in these pictures is just wearing, like, a really unflattering ponytail, just like low on the base of the neck, a baggy t-shirt. Like everyone looks like they just came from soccer practice, and God bless them for that.
And like the most they'll do is put on like a lip smackers. They're not wearing like a full Dior gloss. I want to read this fan mail from Shara. It says, "This is from Shara on the internet. My name is Shara, and I am 13 years old, and I am a huge Dream Street fan. I want to thank you so much for the pictures that you have been posting in your mags." I said posting because I gotta remove the modern day from my brain. Oh my goodness,
our brains are rotted.
I want to thank you so much for the pictures that you've been putting in your mag. Chris Trousdale is my fave, and y'all are like the only mag that puts pictures of Dream Street. Here is my poem. Dream Street songs make me want to sing and dance. Really, you'll love them if you give them a chance. Every guy has his own style, and that's what makes them so worthwhile. Maybe you think they're young in age, so they all have worked on stage. The group is made of Chris, Jesse, Greg, Frankie, and Matt. Right in New York is where they started at. Even you probably know Jesse starred on AMC. Everyone knows how Dream Street can be. They unlock the hearts of you and me. Thank you so much, Shira Internet. I love Shira from the internet.
That was beautiful. And if you guys didn't pick up on that, that was an acrostic poem. Spelled out to, of course, Dream Street. Now, are the kids still doing acrostic poems? That was a huge part of our childhood, I feel.
I don't think they would even know what that means, Dara. I think that would be word salad to them. And I also love that she was like, you're the only magazine that posts Dream Street. It's like, that's like not a compliment.
There's one part of these two pages that sticks out like a sore thumb. We've got little teeny bopper boys, pinks and blues and yellows and oranges. And then in the corner, we've got just a stark earth tone with a little blurb that says "Hot Boys" with a Z, and just a really severe picture of Elijah Wood in his Lord of the Rings costume. And so he's the hot boy in question, and says, "Elijah Wood, actor famous for bringing Frodo to life, hot for those baby blues, hottie factor 100%. Sponsored by Chrissy, Ohatchee, Alabama, New Line Cinemas. Like, was that really Chrissy from Ohatchee, Alabama, or was it just New Line Studios?
I believe it may have just been New Line. And I love that they gave an actual hottie factor. Hottie factor is 100%. He breaks the Richter scale.
Now, is it hottie factor in costume or out?
I mean, it looks like they're saying in.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do love my men with like hairy feet and 4 feet tall.
Yeah, and long ears. So one of my favorite, and we actually were lucky enough to get to talk to Michael about this in our interview. One of my all-time favorite sort of nuanced Lou Pearlman projects is the movie Long Shot, which, if you don't know, was like Lou Pearlman's attempt at trying to like take over Hollywood after he had already taken over Orlando. Next is LA, baby. So he like wanted to be a movie producer, a movie director. He wanted to like get in that world. And he created this film that was like one of the biggest flops like in film history, but like nobody, such a flop that people don't even know enough to talk about it to call it a flop. But it's this movie literally starring Britney Spears, LFO, NSYNC, O-Town, Natural, Innocence, Anthony Sabato Jr.
It's a who's who.
It says Long Shot is a never seen before, which I hate that wording, movie with cameo appearances by famous stars like Britney Spears, NSYNC, O-Town, Innocence, and LFO. The movie comes with a CD soundtrack featuring unreleased songs from NSYNC, O-Town, and Take 5, as well as behind-the-scenes footage. And this is basically an advertisement for you pay $29.95 plus $9.95 shipping and handling to get your own personal VHS sent to your home with the soundtrack.
If you want the DVD, it's another $5.
And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee just in case.
I wonder if that was honored, that money-back guarantee. Like, oh, well, I watched it, didn't like it, so I'm sending it back. And you're getting your $40 back? I don't think so.
That money went towards a Jordache blimp.
Yep.
We all know the truth.
It's long gone.
That money went towards a blimp that crashed somewhere, and it's long gone, baby. And it is very jarring to see, in parentheses, Lou J. Pearlman presents a Transcontinental Pictures production. And yeah, have you ever seen Long Shot?
I never have, which I am surprised by. But yeah, I never saw it. I guess at the end of the day, it wasn't a VHS that was circulating my school, so how else was I going to get my hands on it? There was no YouTube at the time. I
mean, it was shockingly hard to find. And I had made a point when we were talking to Michael about it where I'm like, I understand that it didn't do well, and I understand that like it was sort of doomed from the start, but it even still, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that a movie starring NSYNC, LFO, Britney Spears, the Backstreet, like that all these people being in this movie was still not enough for it to even do a little bit well with the combined star power.
Especially because I remember, when I was a kid and I was obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio, I was trying to get my hands on every movie he was ever in. I was insatiable. So you'd think that this would have the same effect, but I kind of feel like just parents weren't willing to shell out $40 for it.
Yeah, I guess that it would have to have been like just an access thing, because if we had access, we obviously would have just watched it. I mean, I didn't even watch this movie, and I would watch Britney Spears read a phone book, and I didn't even see Long Shot. Of course, I've seen her like 3-second cameo over and over and over.
I do wonder, I'd love to talk to some people who tried to order it and find out if they actually ever even received it. Like, I'm sure some people did, but this is literally just rip off this piece of paper, put a check and that piece of paper in the mail. Oh my God, wait, no, this is even crazier. I can tell you why parents were not willing to shell out for this. Please charge my credit card. Write down your credit card, number and expiration date and signature, and send it on over.
Oh my God, how did I not notice that? It literally says, there is literally a spot to just write down your credit card information on a magazine rip out and send it in the mail.
Send all your information over to Kissimmee, Florida.
That is absolutely unhinged. Wow, Lou was...
He was bold, man.
He really was. He really... Bold enough, by the way, to have included himself in this cast photo. So you have the guys from NSYNC and Innocence and LFO and Britney and Lou. Lou's just smack dab in the middle.
And then there's Lou. And just like with not an ounce of color to his face, just like a toe, just like skin-colored hair from top to bottom. Even his glasses are just like skin-colored.
Yeah, he looks not a toe.
God, if your parents had their identity stolen by Mr. Lou Pearlman, please write in.
Please write in. And also, if you saw Longshot traditionally, like at a movie theater or something, like, I would love to know people's Longshot experience. Like, the people who actually did see this film the way Lou wanted them to. I've still never seen Longshot to completion. Maybe we can watch it for Patreon or something.
Oh, that is a great idea.
We can do a watch along. You guys can watch it with us. I'm sure it's somewhere on like YouTube or something for free. So we have another celebrity sort of fan out page. It says in parentheses, if you're a diehard fan, feel free to write to Popstar with your tale of devotion. You just might read about yourself and your idol in the page of our magazine. And this is like, I guess, people's like celebrity encounter stories.
This is from Kate, Irvington, New York. Idols, O-Town. I am O-Town's #1 fan and 14 years old. My dream has been to meet O-Town since the first episode of Making the Band, which is why I've sent essays, made videos, written poems, and made clothes, LOL, to win contests to meet them. Ashley has always been my favorite, and I plan on marrying him in the future. On September 11th, I was planning on attending the New York City concert at Hammerstein Ballroom. I would have stood in line 10 hours for a good spot on the floor, but due to the terrible tragedies, it was canceled. The rescheduled concert was October 10th. My friend told me she would get us in early to get really good seats, and we were in the front row. I was shaking and crying before O-Town even came out. 5 minutes later, my friend's dad told us we were going backstage, but we would have to lose our front row location. I didn't care. The security guard told us one person at a time could go downstairs. My friend went down first. As she was down there, Dan and Eric Michael came up. I was so excited. I said hi and shook their hands. I was next, and my sister would be able to come with me. I was on my way down the stairs as Trevor came up. I started crying. He was so sweet and gave me a hug. He told me he loved my O-Town pants and called me the crazy pants girl. He asked if we went to TRL and then took pics with us. Then I heard someone yell, "Wow, awesome pants!" It was Ashley. I couldn't stop crying as I told him how much I loved him and how he was my favorite. I told him he was my life. He told me he loved me too, and we talked for a few minutes. It was such a blur. After we said goodbye, my friends all hugged me, and I couldn't even talk as tears ran down my face. It was the best night of my life.
Signed in blood, Kate. And I will say, she's adorable. There are pictures of her with the members of O-Town. She's so cute.
I will say, though, I feel like 14 feels a little old to be losing your shit in such a way. I do worry what she's like with, real life crushes on boys. There might be maybe like a bit of an anxious attachment style at play.
That's like freshman year, right? 14?
Yeah. I mean, she's adorable.
Her room is, it's so funny. This like, when you hear stuff like this, or when you read these like celebrity fan out stories, like, I don't know about everybody else, but my immediate thought is just like, this is how stalkers are like created and born. And this content is the stuff that like allows them to think what they're doing is okay, That's interesting. Yeah, see, when I see something like that and I go like, oh, maybe this feels like a little old, is I did read something once that was talking about one of the reasons why young girls don't get diagnosed with autism as much is because their hyperfixations tend to be on
socially acceptable things for their age groups, like celebrities, whereas with boys, it's often odd things that most boys don't really care about past a very young age, like trains or dinosaurs. So to see just the pictures covering every inch of the wall, it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I hope we have maybe some other interest, but if not, that's fine too.
That's so true. It really is like just expected of young girls to be fanatical about anything they like, just to be completely diluted and insane about it.
Just a thing to think about. Just a little point to chew on.
Next we have our first like celebrity interview page where this is a Hilary Duff interview by the fans for the fans. So these are Popstar fan questions for Hilary Duff.
Were you ever into Lizzie McGuire?
Not like other people. I was not like a real hardcore Lizzie McGuire girl. Like Hillary just wasn't one of my girls. Like I liked her, I had respect for her, but I was not head over heels in love with Hilary Duff. What about you?
I just thought she was fine, and I hated the Lizzie McGuire show because I just thought, she was a dweeb. But there's one episode where she has an opportunity to become a model, and then she just like doesn't because her friends miss her, and I'm like, no, honey, that's foolish. You won't be friends with these people past college, okay? Just get your bag and start a career. This is silly.
You said a baddie can't relate, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I would be leaving my friends in the dust, okay?
I was much more of a That's So Raven girl. That was just more my humor. I loved Raven Simone. Like, I loved that kind of humor. I also didn't think Lizzie McGuire was like funny.
No, it felt like baby-ish to me.
Same. It was too young.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of people my age did like it, but it felt too young for me. But of course, we were middle-aged divorcees in tiny little bodies. So,
as we're smoking out of a cigarette holder, we're like, it was too young.
Too young for me.
So we're just gonna like kind of read some of these random questions. They're absurd. What kind of clothes do you like wearing, and what brands do you like to wear? Oh my gosh, this question is going to go on forever. You should not have asked me this question. I love to wear XOXO, and I like to wear BB a lot. I love Nicole Miller and Jimmy Jewels. I like to shop at Macy's, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, all of those places. There's not a place that I don't like. Every single young girl in this magazine asked what she likes to wear, says BB. Every single young girl. BB was like...
It had a chokehold on me, on all of us.
To me, BB is almost like if like paper doll clothes came to life.
BB was one of those stores where like, if you're reading this magazine, BB is a little old for you. It's you're still like, you've got one foot out the door of Limited 2, and you're sort of perusing BB, but you're not getting anything. I wore a BB dress I was a sophomore in high school, and I wore a BB dress to just like a formal. It was blue, like a baby blue with like a blue jeweled bodice, and I wore a pink fur stole over it.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay, Simple Life interns.
Henley.
Like, literally, that is... Because, like, BB made, like, clothes for, like, the sexy hot girl. And they were, like, a lot of times, like, that stretchy material that, like, showed your body.
Yes.
Like, it was, like, bodycon for, like, the normal girl who couldn't afford, like, an Hervé dress, you know?
Yes. And also a tracksuit for the gal who can't afford Juicy with the crystal BB.
Yes. It was like, BB to me is like the girl in the early 2000s who did pull her thong above her jeans. She wore BB.
Oh, and honey, I was that girl.
I had a feeling.
I got reprimanded quite a few times in the lunchroom.
So my really good friend at the time, my friend Julie, she had become infamous for getting called to the principal's office for her outfits because she just was like overdeveloped. She literally had Christina Aguilera's body from like Dirty era as like a young girl. Like it was inappropriate. But like she couldn't help it. It wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
So we would, and of course we would like coordinate our outfits and shit every day. We were like totally codependent with each other. And she would go to school, get in trouble for wearing something, and then purposely have one of our friends wear it the next day, and they would never get in trouble.
I remember this exact same thing. Now, I did not have the beautifully overly developed body of Christina Aguilera. I was more just chubby with with thighs that touched. But it did not matter. As long as there was sort of like things spilling out of shorts and spaghetti straps, I was getting called in, and the skinny girls never would.
Oh, there should be a documentary about like the trauma of like dress code in the early 2000s at school.
Yes.
Because nobody talks about it. We were fighting for our lives, really.
We truly were. It is just the most insane thing in the world to do that to a kid, to humiliate them. And also on top of it, like I never even thought about the fact that like, oh, you need to go out and like buy new clothes because these are like, what if this is all you have? What if you can't afford anything else and like you grew out of it?
And like at the end of the day, it's because some like bitter hag who like sees her dying youth in this young girl wants to punish her because she's like living out her like middle school fantasy of punishing like the pretty girl. That's really what it was in a lot of cases. Or men being like, I literally want to fuck a child and it's making me uncomfortable, so you need to go home and change.
My mother would always say, Dara, she's old and jealous of you. She's jealous.
She wants to skin you and wear you like last season's Versace, Dara. There's another funny little quote in here where they say, how do you feel when people always ask you about Aaron Carter? And Hilary goes, it's cool. I haven't gotten very many questions lately because we've broken up and gotten back together so many times. But people, I think they kind of make a joke of it. Most of the questions when his episode first came out were like, are you and Aaron Carter dating? But I haven't gotten that a lot lately. It's really cool.
In other magazines, when a celebrity is interviewed, it is, you know, of course, edited for brevity or creative flair by the writer. These interviews are just like, nope, whatever you say, that is going down verbatim.
And it should be noted at the time, Hilary Duff is in 8th grade, so she is her peers. She is one of the girls essentially writing these questions in. They say, what is it like going from being a normal kid to being on TV? Does it feel like it happened really fast? And she said, it's all a big blur. Even though it didn't happen fast, it happened in 4 years. But it's kind of weird because it was very different. We were so busy, it's not like I had time to sit down and think about it. It was cool, but like scary. Over the summer, I got a lot of phone calls at my house from people, and I was thinking, how did they get my number? It's just weird. But at the same time, it's really cool, too. Like, this is an interview.
Honestly, at the same time, it is really cool, too.
She's like, how did the stalker get my number and my DNA and blood type? But it's, like, really cool.
I mean, at least he cares.
Do you want to do some of Aaron's?
On page 32, Aaron Carter, interview by you. I'd like to point this question out. Aaron, I heard you shot a pay-per-view concert on your last tour. What can you tell us about it? Well, it's actually really cool. I mean, it's just, it's a special about a concert that I did, and it's just a concert, you know? And it's really cool because, you know, there's a lot of interaction, you know, a lot of cool things going on.
If you didn't know, it's really cool.
I have never in my life read an interview response that just was like, we're keeping in all the filler words. No need to edit for brevity.
They're like, but he said really cool 7 times. They're like, keep each one.
Keep each one. Now, I will say, I used to love pay-per-view concerts. I feel like, you know, like the Spice Girl, like it was an event. It was a special evening when you were doing some pay-per-view.
Well, in a world where you couldn't just pull up a concert on YouTube or like live stream it or go on social media and see people's clips or whatever, in a world where you literally would only see it if you were there or if you bought like a DVD, it was extremely special. And it was also just like really cool knowing that it wasn't going to be like some home video footage or something that somebody shot. It was like professional, like it's like you being there. That was very novel at the time, you know?
I mean, I guess they sort of do that. but I wish they did it for more concerts, you know?
Yeah.
I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered to leave the house, but I'd still like to see it.
I agree. I actually really like that they do that for Coachella. I love that they do like that live stream.
Oh, yeah.
And they do all the stages because, like, I don't know, it's like really cool. I sound like Aaron.
It's I don't know, man. It's really cool.
It's just cool.
It's like a concert, you know?
I really like this question. What do you think of your dolls, Aaron? And he said, I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing because not a lot of people get dolls made after them. But, I mean, the reason I wanted to make a doll is so I could flirt with Barbie. It's like such an Aaron Carter answer.
What is the creative process like for you? Usually we write lyrics and then the music is done. And then, you know, it's actually being processed. I mean, it's a slow... sometimes it can be a slow process and sometimes it can be quick.
Okay.
Say no more, my guy.
They said, Aaron, we've seen that you prefer NSYNC to Backstreet Boys. Don't you feel guilty saying that? And he said, I mean, it's no big deal. I do like NSYNC. NSYNC is an amazing group. You know, they're cool. I love the guys. I'm like, imagine having to answer these questions like for 14 hours.
No.
Were you an Aaron girl or no?
I was briefly. Like I had
Okay.
his album. I knew all the songs, you know. I know how he beat Shaq. But I think it was pretty fleeting, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I was a part of the zeitgeist and then I moved on.
Yeah, I don't recall. I was like trying to think, like, I don't recall in my orbit any like Aaron girls. Maybe because we were like a little too old or something. I don't know, but I didn't know anybody who was like crazy falling over their feet to get to Aaron Carter as a kid.
Yeah, his music was like, you know, it was like baby music.
Like it was like skewed young even for young people.
Yeah.
I really got into Aaron like later, you know?
You really got into his music later in life.
Like I got into Aaron as a tabloid fixture, basically. Like that's how
Yeah.
I kind of grew up receiving him, was like as somebody who was always on X17 and TMZ and stuff, and like Dancing with the Stars era, like later Aaron, where he like troubled Aaron, to be honest, is when I really started to like become obsessed with him, I guess.
You appreciated his later work.
I did, yeah. Things like the Carters and things like that. So there is our first like actual interview by adults in this magazine is from none other than Miss Britney Jean Spears on page 37, and this is peak Britney era Britney. So this is like not a girl, not yet a woman Britney, and a lot of the press about her around this time was surrounded by like, or a lot of the press surrounding her at this time was like, she's an adult now, and like, is her music gonna change, and does she know what it is to be an adult? Does she know how to be, or is she still just a little girl? She's tawdry yet Christian. Like, what will become of Britney? And this whole interview was kind of like doing the thing that I mentioned the last time we talked about Britney. They're reiterating her origin story, the Southern belle of it all, the Louisiana, the working at her grandma's crawdaddy shop, all of that stuff. And also just like, what does the future hold for Britney Spears? Like, what does it look like for Britney Spears to be more mature and like release adult music?
Because she is, as it says, so not a girl, so not yet a woman.
They love it. She's either the toxic singer or she's not a girl, not yet a woman.
The elusive chanteuse.
I think she's exactly 20 years old at this time. Just a little quote. I'll just read a couple little quotes from this. This is a turning point in my career, says Britney. I think that, I'm really just coming into my own and becoming the person that I want to be. But honestly, I don't really like defining myself. I don't even know who I am right now, I just am. And I have no idea what I'll be like in the future. Hopefully I'm just a good person. Wah. And she says, it's like the funniest thing in the world about what I do, she enthuses, being able to come up with concepts for my videos and coming up with concepts for my shows, coming up with song ideas. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's exhilarating. However, she admits that learning to say no to those whose opinions are different from hers was a task that took a little getting used to. She said, I used to hold things in, or like if I felt something, I really wouldn't say it because I wanted to be nice, Britney reflects. And I come from the South, so I'm still very nice and polite. But now if I think someone's saying something to take advantage of me or something, I'm very open and just talking and saying how I feel. And then they ask her what it means to her to either be a woman or a girl. And she says, honestly, I guess it depends on what your definition of a girl and a woman is, considers Brittany. I think my definition of a girl is someone who hasn't experienced her life at the fullest potential yet. Very naive, and, she's still growing. And a woman is one who has fulfilled her life, and she has a lot of wisdom. She has gained all the wisdom that she needs, and she's just completely lived her life the way she needs to. And she knows herself in and out, Oh, Britt. She said, I think that I'm kind of right in between there. I think I'm on the verge of being a woman, but it's kind of hard. It's tough. Since I have grown up in the spotlight, people place these things on me. It's very sad. It's like, I hate to be one of those like poor Britney people because I just get so annoyed. Like anytime you see anything posted about Britney from the past, like every comment is just like, she's gone. This girl no longer exists. They killed her. They broke her spirit. It's like, we know. Like, can somebody just post a picture of old Britney and have it not turn into like a memorial service every time? It gets like really, really old. Like, they took her light. It's like, you're the 3,000th person to say that today.
Yeah. Shouldn't that be understood?
We know that. It's okay for somebody to post something like appreciating her career and have it not be like condolences, Do
you feel like part of that is maybe just certain types of people who are sort of coming to it late, like almost maybe younger people who are like shocked at what happened, whereas some of us are like, yeah, we knew about this.
I think that that's exactly what it is. I think it's like younger people who didn't experience it in real time, and also people who didn't have any interest in it until like way after the fact. They lived through it, but they just weren't conscious of what was going on. And then they realized 20 years later just how fascinating this whole story is and, like, what we really did to a young girl and, like, people coming to terms with their part in it and not realizing that they participated in it. And they sort of expect everybody to be on their timeline. Like, they watched a documentary on Netflix and now all of a sudden it's like they want to just, like, talk about it all the time. And it's like, girl, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen people where there's like an inability to discuss that part of Britney, like the difficult parts of her life, without any sort of matter-of-factness. Like I was talking to someone and I said that I had the tabloid issue where Britney's on the cover and she's shaved her head. Mm-hmm. And I could tell the person was sort of like thought I was disgusting, like a little bit like,
oh, wow. Okay.
It wasn't you're a monster, but it was like,
why do you own that?
Yeah. And it's like, well, it just is of the time. It's a part of the story. It's inextricably linked. Can we not at least just acknowledge it with some sort of removal? Like, we don't have to every time be like a memorial.
I mean, if I had a nickel for every time I dealt with some weirdness like that, where I'm like, yeah, I own this not because I'm like celebrating her pain. I own it because it's a insanely major part of our culture. It's like owning a tabloid that came out around the time that Princess Diana died. Like, yeah. It's not saying that I'm happy that she was killed. It means this woman set forth this crazy culture after her death, and like we're still feeling it now. And it's the same with Britney. Like, you look at what people like Ariana Grande and Billie Eilish are going through. Taylor Swift just had a terrorist at her show. Like, all of it kind of derives from this blueprint that we created with Britney Spears, where we tortured her almost to death. And, like, but you have to be nuanced. And the thing is, the pop culture that you and I love, it is lowbrow, but you have to be highbrow to understand it in the way that we like it. And people look at it as like trivial, not understanding that it's actually we could teach a fucking college course on this stuff because it is highbrow. It's not trivial. It's really layered and complex.
And it's a part of history. It is a part of the culture. I guess part of it is most of the people, what we don't realize sometimes maybe is that often when we are interacting with a fan, a culture fan, they're simply a fan of the culture and not of the greater context. I feel like we are fans and also historians. I don't want to make us sound too hoity-toity or full of ourselves, but I think we are interested in the greater tapestry of the American culture.
Yeah. That's the greater tapestry is like such a great way to put it. It's just layered and it's complex. It's hard to even explain. Even something as simple as this article about her like not really like coming to terms with the fact that she's an adult and like she can say yes and no to things. Like there's such a greater conversation to be had around that, especially when it comes to Britney Spears. You know, like, but it's like one of those, it's like you either get it or you don't. You're either one of the girls or you're not, you know?
Okay. You either want your PhD or you just want to listen to the record, okay?
Right. And luckily the people listening to this are the girls. Like we are all the girls, you know?
We are the girls.
We are the girls. So this page 65 is album reviews. They call it ear candy. And I love underneath it says nothing but 4-star music. So all the albums get 4 stars, which I love. But so they review the Jimmy Neutron soundtrack, a band called Ruby Blue. Please write in if I don't know who Ruby Blue is.
Never heard of it.
We have Mariah Carey's greatest hits and Madonna's greatest hits. And Mariah's is just something that you have to read to believe. So I'm just going to read this to you. I'm not going to like even tell you. I'm not going to warn you. I just want to swerve you off the road a little bit. It's hard to believe it's taken so long for one of popular music's biggest voices to release a greatest hits CD. In fact, it took Miss Mariah so long that she had to have 2 discs to fit all her signature songs. Mariah has had a rough time lately, suffering a widely discussed nervous breakdown, and watching as both her first big movie and first big Virgin CD tank. But when you're cornered like that, it's always nice to retreat to the familiar and to tank. I'm sorry, like not them trying to make it full circle. Not them saying, but when you're going through a hard time, it's always best to return to your greatest hits, baby. They said, it's always nice to retreat to the familiar and to take strength in it. Mariah fans will go hoarse trying to sing along to her decade-long plus song list. It all started with Vision of Love, which was to Mariah as Fallen is to Alicia Keys. From there, the hits just keep pouring out of her throat. Okay.
Jesus.
Songs like Emotions, Dream Lover, Hero, One Sweet Day, I Still Believe, Heartbreaker, so many of her songs were #1 hits. This is a great value for anyone who appreciates music with lasting appeal. When you're having a nervous breakdown, it's always best to return to the classics.
You don't need an SSRI. You just need the gift of song.
And then in their Madonna review, they like, mind you, this is a magazine for literal children. They're like, she inspired Britney, Pink, Christina, and Gwen. She's the biggest female rock star in history. Madonna has been summed up a million different ways, but in the end, she is the sum total of her music. If she'd been cranking out stupid songs for the past 20 years, she wouldn't still be around to delight, provoke, and enrage. On her 3rd collection of hits, and yet her 2nd general collection, hence the title GHV2, Madonna sticks to songs released between 1992 and 2001, reminding you that her later work is not only deeper and deeper and sweeter and sweeter, to quote from a track on Deeper and Deeper.
It's like, you guys, we didn't need that. We didn't need it.
Excuse me? I clutched my pearls. I was like, not you leaning in. It's more artfully constructed without sacrificing the hooks, with the span of songs encompassing everything from the raspy in-your-face erotica to the yearning, what it feels like for a girl. I don't know if I would say what it feels like for a girl is yearning. Like, what?
No. Also, I don't need the word yearning anywhere in these pages.
Why are you even referencing erotica? Like, they just choose random sections of the magazine to be, like, mature, and it's so funny.
So now we're going to do a group flip of the magazine to the other side, the other cover, with our boys from Natural. And in these pages, we've got a little interview from them, some gorgeous pictures, and we're going to go talk to Michael Johnson about them. So you're going to hear a little taste of it.
Enjoy this interview. Michael was incredible. Well, we do have to ask you, we are a magazine podcast after all. So we do have to ask you some magazine questions. So Dara and I both obviously collect magazines, and we collect a varied amount of like different Popstar magazines. Popstar, J14, Teen Beat, all those different things. So can you tell us what a press day is like when you're doing a teen magazine? What is that experience?
Okay, usually a press day would be like a full day long photo shoot, which includes band shots, which is like, there are boy band poses that are well known, and it's a lot of pointing, maybe like hands in pockets, like head tilted. There's a lot of those. So you're like, as each of you go through your routine of boy band poses, you get to like the interviewer will come over at the end of the big photo shoot, and you, like, after you've been sprayed with the misting water bottles and everything for your centerfold. And by the way, the chest shaving and all that stuff was a real thing. Like we were all having to really go through the efforts to get our chests that bare to for our pull out Popstar centerfolds. But
puberty deniers.
Exactly. Yeah. But then the interviewing process was always insane. It like, I feel like teen magazines, and maybe this is right again, and wasn't in touch with it. I felt like we were answering questions for 5-year-olds, and it was like the most bizarre thing ever. But then it kind of brings this childlike thing out of you, which then when you go back and like read your answers, you're like, oh, I'm like one of them. It's like this crazy thing that like the interviewers have it so dialed in, and like they know their audience so well that they like ask questions as if they're a kid. And it's like you start to like answer of like, well, I like swimming and chicken nuggets. And it's like, so it's like this crazy thing that it's so so you do the photo shoot, you do the interview about like the color of your underwear, and like who's your celebrity crush, and what else, who's your favorite artist of your peers or whoever, like is it Hilary Duff or Amanda Bynes, who do you have who do you like better, and then you sign thousands and thousands and thousands of press cards, and you get so tired of writing your own damn name that you want to just give it all up. You want to just go home. But I look back at like some of those magazine like answers that I gave, and I'm like, again, I said it earlier, it's like, was I stupid? Then I'm like, I think it was just the way that those types of magazines frame questions and everything. It like pulls this childlike thing out of you that like, and again, it works. Like that's what the people want to read about, is like the color of my underwear, or like when's the last time I washed my socks, or like whatever.
Well, if you like that, then please head on over to the next episode and listen to the full interview with Michael Johnson. And if you aren't already on Patreon, go sign up for Patreon and you can read this whole magazine. We have the PDF full issue on Patreon, plus bonus episodes.
And the bonus episodes for the teen magazines are fun because we do like quizzes, and it's more interactive. There's like a website full of, or a page full of like celebrity website links and internet drama that I can't wait to talk about.
Mm-hmm. We're going lowbrow. We're going into the sandbox with the children.
Yeah. You have to bend down to grab this one. It's on the bottom of the rack.
Well, this was fun, Troy. Didn't you have a ball?
This was fun. I love doing these. Like, I mean, teen magazines are my guilty pleasure. So this was like, genuinely, I love it. I love making fun of them. I love the nostalgia of it all. I love knowing where everybody is getting their tops, which is BB. It's fun.
It's a great time. And we love spending time with all of you.
We love you very, very much. Deeper and
deeper.
And deeper.
And sweeter and deeper. So, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
This season on The Dream.
Supplies are being provided by nurses who run out in the middle of the night and purchase diapers, but the hospital is still charging as if they still have these items.
We are digging into every topic we've ever wanted to cover on this show.
It's a spinning plate analogy. The second that you stop spinning those plates, that crashes. So you can never stop working.
The Dream Season 4 comes at you weekly starting Monday, January 20th.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.